This episode of Internet Superstars brought to you by GoDaddy.com, Netflix, and
the Olive Garden, home of the never-ending salads.
When we were in Italy, we became obsessed with Italian life. The food, the wine, the hospitality, yes. Now you can experience the same at the Olive Garden, home of the never-ending salads.
These salads sure are never-ending.
The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
They stripped him of everything except his desire. His mission to become an internet superstar. Sadly, he's doing it with absolutely no resources.
I stress, buddy.
It's a dream coat, Gator.
Whatever, man. Let's just do this show.
Hey there and welcome to Internet Superstar, the only online television show that has been repeatedly compared to the video version of a filthy drifter looking for bottles and cans along a deserted stretch of the information superhighway. I'm Internet's Martin Sargent. And I'm joined as always by my good friend the Gator. How you doing, Gator?
I'm good, buddy. How you?
I'm doing great, man. This is show number 14.
Show number 14.
From the Shed Theater here, and we are defying all the odds, aren't we?
Yeah, we sure are, man.
We're
like a out-of-control juggernaut.
Unbelievable. We do this show with no budget and no support from Revision 3. My neighbor Donnie's half-wit kid Brett running camera. Brett! You know, we're here for you every Wednesday, my mom's backyard shed, and people are finally starting to take notice.
Yeah, naming the neighborhood watch.
That's right, man. They filed several complaints, and you should probably stop parking your truck in Mrs. Ely's lawn.
Oh, well, you know.
She's kind of a banshee, that woman.
I ran over her Japanese maple the other day. She came out after me with a rake.
No matter, because we have a big show today. In just a moment, we'll be talking to Ian Spector, the fellow behind the online phenomenon Chuck Norris Facts, and author of the book The Truth About Chuck Norris, 400 Facts About the World's Greatest Human.
Wow.
I think I'm going to read a few of these facts right off the... How about this one here? Chuck Norris never hides. He only seeks. Chuck Norris is so smart, Stephen Hawking stood up to bow down to him. Rather than being birthed like a normal child, Chuck Norris instead decided to punch his way out of his mother's womb, hence the term C-section. Ian Spector's going to be here. We are very excited about it. He is a real internet superstar.
That kid is a real... He's like...
He's just a kid, too. He's like 12 years old.
The people have been sending that stuff around for years, though, on the internet, from what I hear.
Right. He just kind of assembled it. But, you know, he's done something that we've never been able to do.
What's that?
Write a book, become popular.
Yeah. Maybe we
have
should.
A following, any of that. But that's all going to change as we become closer and closer to internet superstardom. You know what I want to do on this show, Gator? You know what I want to do?
No, I don't. Tell me,
I want to mix things up a little bit. You know, do a little dance with the pacing. A few dipsy doodles, if you will. We've got to keep the people out there guessing. You up for that?
I guess so, man. Sure.
All right. Well, having said that, let's begin the show. We're going to begin the show with some advice from my former high school gym teacher, the wisest man I've ever met. Take a knee, everyone out there, because it's time for Ask Coach Cole.
Tell him, Coach. Coach Cole, my son wants to play football, but his grades aren't really up to what I consider snuff. If I allow him to play, I feel like I'll be caving in on my standards. But if I don't let him play, I'm afraid he'll hold it against me for years. It might even make his grades worse. Is there a middle ground I can reach here? Signed, Confused. Letting somebody play. Now that's a tough one. It reminds me of this little dwarf midget my assistant coach Jim Plesko hired to work practices as a water boy back when I was coaching Division II ball outside of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. 2 minutes into his first day water boying, and one of my kids makes a wisecrack to him, and that little midget sumbitch was on him like a wild dog. I never seen that kind of speed and fury on a football field. This midget bastard was so fast and so mean that I decided right then and there I was going to put some pads on him and let him play. And damned if he didn't turn out to be the meanest, fastest, hardest hitting sumbitch linebacker that ever played for me. I mean, this little sawed-off fucker didn't stand 3'5" or tip the scales at 70 pounds, but he had a ferocity. A mean, quick, animal-like hate that I've never seen before in a human. Hell, I ain't really seen that kind of fury even in the animal world, except for maybe a rabid wolverine that I put down after it's from a trailer park I used to live in. Anyway, that midget finally went crazy during the division final night game, and he ended up ripping the helmet off the other team's quarterback, and before anybody could stop him, and then he ran under the stadium out into the night. The last anyone saw that little mongrel son of a bitch, he was clearing the far end of the parking lot and scampering down an embankment heading for the deep woods. And still wearing his pads. Hell, it still gives me the shivers sometimes to think that little fucker's out there somewhere just watching from the shadows. I suppose I regret ever padding that little ball of furious hell up in the first place. But he was something to behold on the gridiron. Well, I hope that helps. Remember, in life it's always fourth and goal. Move the chains, people. I'm Coach Cole. And send your questions to Coach Cole at revision3.com. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Coach.
Wow.
You know, the hell that man put me through during my junior year, it's finally starting to pay off. You know that after the budget cuts...
I thought he taught you how to climb the rope.
He did. You know what else he used to do? After
What's
the
that?
budget cuts at my high school,
No.
dispense support, he used to make me use my body as the floor hockey goal. I still have the welts to prove that. There are certain parts of my body where hair has never grown.
That's tough on
Thanks
your
to that
ribs
man.
and stuff.
It was extremely painful.
Is the what kind of goal?
The floor hockey.
Oh, I thought you said field hockey.
No.
Because that's one of my favorite sports. You know, I like to go to the high school gym and watch them play that field hockey every Tuesday.
I know you do.
Yeah. I take a little six-pack of Mickey's Big Mouth, sit out there and just watch them play field hockey. Anyway, now that would hurt you, though, being a field hockey goal.
It felt like this.
Come on,
Every
why
time
you always
get-
fucking hitting me, buddy? You
I
ain't
get
gotta
fired
do
up
that.
with the show. Gator, you know what we haven't done in a powerful long time on this program?
What's that?
In fact, we haven't done this since we used to do our old show, Infected. Remember that show that got canceled? Well, I'll tell you what we haven't done in a long time. We haven't taken a check of the high-tech tech news ticker. You almost forgot to make the sound effect,
Yeah, I
didn't
hadn't
you?
done that in a long
Here's our
time.
top story. Playboy has launched a new pictorial theme and is currently searching for the talent. The spread is to be called The Girls of the Olive Garden. That's right. Apparently one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends is Kendra. He's got like 5 girlfriends, but this one, Kendra, she adores the Olive Garden and says that every time she goes there, she can't help notice all the hot women who work there. Thus, the idea was born.
Yeah, well, I never quite noticed. I think they
I
got hotter
never-
girls over at Shoney's.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How about like a Girls of Red Lobster spread? Or like a Girls of TGI Friday spread? Because that would be hot if they're all naked except for those suspenders with all the cute little buttons on
All
it, with
the
the say the
flair on
funny
it.
things, all that flair.
Well-
Here, you want to take a look at this
Well,
video?
yeah,
Th-
go ahead.
Here's Kendra. She's announcing this competition. Here it
Okay.
is.
What's up? I'm Kendra Wilkinson from the Girls Next Door, and guess what? I am searching for the sexiest girls from my favorite restaurant, the Olive Garden, to pose for Playboy. So if you think you're sexy and you work at the Olive Garden, then send me those pictures. All the information is on Playboy.com. All right, my food's getting cold, so I gotta fucking go. Peace.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's.
From my experience, the girls at Olive Garden they're a little bit wrapped a little bit too tight for my liking. You know, I like a girl from Denny's or Shoney's or whatever because you might get a hand job with your never-ending coffee there. The Olive Garden, all you get is a
Never-ending salad bowl, some breadsticks.
and that's all you really care about there anyway. You ain't gonna pull your face.
I'm never going to be able to look at an Olive Garden breadstick the same way, though, after this. I thought that Hugh Hefner kind of dated a classier type of woman than that. You know,
Was she kind of trashy?
She was a little trashy. And my food's getting fucking cold.
She said
And
fucking-
she like storms in the Playboy Mansion there and like slams her bag of Olive Garden up against the wall.
I don't think
she was determined to get in there and eat that breadstick.
Do you think Hugh would approve of that kind of language?
don't know.
I thought they were trying to book.
Here's what I don't understand also. Would Olive Garden approve of that?
I don't know.
I guess they say that there's no affiliation with the Olive Garden. I got to call bullshit on that because
Yeah,
this
they
has
got the
got to
big
be,
sack
this is
of
like
it.
the best campaign for Olive Garden because basically what they're saying is that there's all these hot chicks who work at the
Yeah.
Olive Garden. Now
Right.
I'm going to go back to the Olive Garden.
You might go back and try to give some of that.
I'm not going to go for the chicken cacciatore.
What about creamy pasta they serve over
No,
there?
might go back for that regardless of who's serving me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the Olive Garden. I'm going to get stuck with this disgusting guy waiter.
I'll probably go check it out myself. I didn't know that, man. You know, it's like, yeah, you get like a 200-pound dude with a hairy back.
I'm going to take you more salad. You like more salad? It's never ending. Hey, but if you're hot and you do work for the Olive Garden and you want to pose nude in Playboy, A, email me at martin@revision3.com, and B, go to playboy.com and look for the Olive Garden link, and I'll see you in a few months when you do that spread.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to take a viewer call?
Man, you know how these go.
I know.
I'm
I got
I'm
a good
up for it.
feeling about this one.
You think you're going to get a good one?
I got it. We got a chick on the line here. This is
right.
one, okay. One of our longtime fans.
Brett pre-screened these, didn't he?
From Flint, Michigan. Here is Lilith. Hi, Lilith.
Hey, guys.
Hello, Lilith. Thank you for calling. Thanks so much. How's everything going?
How you doing, sweetheart?
I might not sound very happy. I'm kind of not very happy, actually. I'm pretty damn pissed.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, Lilith. I hope it wasn't anything. Sorry if we had you on hold too long, but you are a fan of our show, right?
It's fucking retarded.
Hey, Lilith. Let's not go.
Shut up.
What did I do? You creepy goth. What the hell?
If you have bad things to say, hold it in and shut the fuck up, because I don't want to hear it.
What? You started it? What are you possessed by some dark spirits? You've been playing too much Ouija board?
Ooh. Getting mad.
No, dark sister. I'm getting mad. And I'm getting hurt, too. I thought you liked this show.
It's fucking stupid. Shut the fuck up. I'm serious.
Show.
It's not even fucking funny.
All right, you know what? Cut her off.
Yeah,
I've had it with Little Miss Dark Princess.
Sweetheart,
Seriously.
do something like that. Freak.
You give people the opportunity to appear on one of the most popular online television shows out there, and that's how they treat you. That's how they treat you. God damn, these kids, they weren't like this back in my heyday during Web 1.0. I don't know what's happened to them. It's like all these participatory new technologies, your dig.coms and your Wikipedias and your YouTubes have just made everybody feel like they're some kind of a damn hotshot, you know?
Yeah, everybody. There's no innocence and wonder in the world anymore with these young kids.
Seriously, let me tell you something, people. Web 2.0 was built on the desiccated corpse of my career. It paved right over me. And I'm going to haunt you for it. Anyway.
I feel like you haunt the shed.
Here, we do have some good news. Just ahead, we're going to talk to a huge internet superstar. The guy behind Chuck Norris Facts, Ian Spector, will be here right after this word from our sponsor. Stick around, everyone.
Right on.
The Olive Garden, home of the never-ending salads.
Wow, these salads, they really are never ending.
So are the breadsticks.
Hi, brothers. More salads?
I guess so.
The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
Do you want to be an internet superstar? Well, now you can get started on the cheap. Just enter the promo code STAR1 when registering your domain name at GoDaddy.com and receive 10% off your order. Come on, if the world's most horrifying children's party clown can do it, can't you? Become an internet superstar with GoDaddy.com. Promo code STAR1. And welcome back to my show. Chuck Norris can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. When the boogeyman goes to sleep every night, he checks his closet for Chuck Norris. There is no theory of evolution, just a list of creatures Chuck Norris has allowed to live. Well, these are, of course, some of the Chuck Norris facts that have become an absolute internet sensation. And with us here today in the shed is the man who came up with them, Ian Spector. Come on in, Ian. All right, Ian Spector. He's just a kid.
Come on in here, buddy.
Come on into the shed, Ian.
Come sit down right here.
Doing great. I'm so
Gator.
thrilled
Nice
to meet you.
too.
You know, I didn't think that the facts were actually written. I thought that they just came down straight from God. I guess you're like Moses was with the 10 Commandments. You're just the vessel for these things.
They come straight down from the internet, and yeah, that's how it works.
When did you first, like, what was the moment, that epiphany moment when you first came up with that first Chuck Norris fact? Can you remember back to then?
Well, let me go into the history a little bit.
Yeah,
so,
please.
In April 2005, there was that movie, The Pacifier, that came out with Vin Diesel.
Oh, Vin Diesel, he was awesome too.
Yeah, and so there was this message board that I was on, and all these people were making all these ridiculous one-liners up about how stupid Vin Diesel was in this role. And so I thought they were really funny, and I thought it would be a good idea to make a website where anybody could go like read and submit these things. So we put it together. Like day one, we got about 20,000 hits. And
really?
Wow.
Yeah, and so we let things grow a little bit. I hardly did any advertising. I told like 4 friends on AIM, and that was it. And then into the summer, I put up a poll to see who the next one should be about. And there were like 12 people in the poll. And there was a write-in, and more people wrote in Chuck Norris than any of the others.
Who did you think was going to win?
I don't know. I think we had a lot of like pop culture people at the time. Like Snakes on a Plane was really big, so Samuel L. Jackson was on it, and like
was Martin Sargent on the list?
I can't recall.
Chuck Norris seems to really strike a chord with people, though. He's got that. It's something about him really brings that. You know, people want to talk about Chuck Norris. They want to touch him, actually, too, if they get near him.
Have you ever touched Chuck Norris?
We shook hands. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, what happened? I mean,
so
is your hand okay, first of all?
They both work.
I heard a rumor that you used to have polio until he touched you on the head. Is that true?
No.
Is it true that he radiates a heat off of him like that?
Around the beard?
Yeah.
A little bit. But he and I were supposed to be on this show on CNBC where I was supposed to explain what the facts were to him. It was a little awkward in concept. And
maybe potentially dangerous.
Yeah. And I was in a remote location, they were in studio, and I got kicked off for timing. And so I wrote about it on my website, and this was over winter break during my freshman year. And
at Brown University.
Yes. And I was sitting around at home, I was watching Lost. And do you guys watch Lost at all?
No.
Okay, so it's
that show lost me back in like 1998.
So, for those of you who do watch Lost,
everyone else out there, so go ahead.
it's really hard to just stop in the middle of an episode. And so I was watching, and the phone rings, and my mom calls up. She's like, "Ian, pick up the phone." And I was like, "Can they call back?" And she said, "Oh, it's Chuck Norris's wife." I'm like, "Oh, well, I guess we'll see what."
Hot?
And I know what she told you too. She said, "Ian, go to the Phoenician blinds and open them up." And when you did, Chuck Norris was standing right there.
Yeah, so I had to put off seeing what was like down the hatch and to talk to Chuck Norris's wife. And we arranged a meeting at a casino in Connecticut. Coincidentally, well, Chuck runs this thing. It's the World Combat League to finance his charity. And so they were having an event at this casino, and it just happened to be the same day I was going back to school, and it was like on the way back. So, it worked out. And so we met, and it was myself and my dad who drove me, and then Chuck and his wife and his lawyer and his business partner. And we all just kind of sat around in a room, talked about life for about an hour,
and then you just started writing these facts? I mean, the facts had already all been written, or?
Well, this was in January 06. The site didn't get really big until like November 05.
Wow.
So it had been going on for a little bit.
Gotcha. Now, Stephen Colbert and Conan O'Brien, they had this very public row about who made Mike Huckabee.
Yeah.
And Colbert said it was because of the Colbert bump, and O'Brien, of course, said it was because he had the Texas Walker Ranger things with Norris, and of course Norris was a huge booster of Mike Huckabee. But I think that you're the guy who made Mike Huckabee, don't you?
Well, I don't want to.
You made Mike Huckabee win the Iowa caucuses.
You could have impacted American politics.
I did an interview once for like CBC in Canada, and the guy asked me, so you get this one guy popular, he gets this guy running for president popular. What happens if he gets into the White House?
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, well, that was not expected at all.
You could have ruined America. I mean,
it didn't happen. I'm not, things didn't work out.
But didn't you tell me just you were at the Colbert taping?
Yeah, by chance.
Total random chance.
Over winter break this past winter, I was at the studio when Colbert was like, I made Mike Huckabee,
and he's in the
audience. I was sitting there like, maybe, and like. Yeah.
Which just proves, A, that there is a God, and B, that you're the one who actually did it, in my mind.
Well, I don't want to take a firm stance on it because there's still.
Well, you did sort of bring Chuck Norris back, because I remember back when he was doing those
kind of a
Walking
laughingstock.
Texas Ranger, and he did that. What was that thing with the crazy man that they kept killing again and again?
The Total Gym and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Total Gym commercial. I saw one last
But
night.
you admitted, buddy, like you admitted, you resurrected Chuck Norris's career. Now he's got all these ads and everything he's doing. He's endorsing political candidates. I mean, is that?
And here's the other thing. So I've seen Chuck Norris very gleefully reading the Chuck Norris facts on shows like the best damn sports show ever.
No steroids in baseball, only players Chuck Norris has breathed on. I mean, I don't know. That's not fair. I don't know.
He's into it. He's saying which one's his favorite. And then I read that he turns around and he sues you. He sued you for writing these things, Ian?
Yeah, I can't really talk about it.
I have a theory on that.
So the lawsuit is still going on, so you can't really talk about it.
Yeah.
But you went to an Indian casino with this guy. You were friends.
I got a theory on that. Can I tell my theory real quick? Is that all right? I think that because Huckabee is this like anti-evolution sort of real conservative guy, and some of the things you wrote about Chuck Norris were a little bit out there. Chuck Norris liked it, but he had, in order to endorse Mike Huckabee, he had to go ahead on the record and pretend like he was against it. So he just
things like
I don't
Chuck
think
Norris's
he
tears
really
can cause cancer.
I think he did that
Unfortunately, Chuck Norris never cried.
It's a token lawsuit, I think. That's my theory, but I don't know if there is
just
such
because
a thing.
it got so popular, and the book probably started making a shitload of money, and he wanted to say, you didn't just want the Total Gym one, he wasn't enough. I know you can't talk about it.
Yeah, I can't talk about it, and for the record, we didn't discuss this before tape.
Okay, and one of the ads that Huckabee was running when he was still running before he dropped out was this one with Chuck Norris, and Huckabee himself is reading these facts straight off of your website, straight out of your book.
When Chuck Norris does a push-up, he isn't lifting himself up. He's pushing the earth down.
Mike's a principled, authentic conservative.
Chuck Norris doesn't endorse. He tells America how it's going to be.
Did they ask you if they could do that?
No, they didn't. They didn't ask me about it.
So it's copyright for them. So you could sue them.
I don't have that kind of time.
Did you ever meet Christy Brinkley on the Total Gym or anything like that?
No, my friend once prank called the Total Gym people. He's like, I row with like 800 pounds like on each arm or something. Will the Total Gym work for me? And eventually it's too much. But yeah.
That book's funnier than hell, though, man. Every time I read it, I just crack up.
Yeah, no kidding. So are you still reading more facts, or is that it? Have you moved on to another project?
Yeah, I mean, as of now, I'm pre-med. So in the long run, websites about Chuck Norris facts aren't in my immediate future. But there are always new things that I'd like to work on. There's stuff in comedy. There's stuff in political discussion. There's stuff in medicine on the internet. So
we could use some help in comedy over here.
Yeah, seriously. God, man. He's got the comedy. He's a pre-med. There's stuff in politics and medicine I want to do on the internet. Best-selling author. He's Ian Spector, and I got a fact for you, man. You are an internet superstar.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Hey, if you guys want to learn more facts about Chuck Norris, buy the book, The Truth About Chuck Norris, 400 Facts About the World's Greatest Human. Thanks so much for being here on the program, Ian.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right, coming up, we'll meet this week's Gators gal right after this word from our sponsor.
The Olive Garden, home of the never-ending salads.
Food has always been celebrated in Italy. The Romans were famous for their lavish feasts and salads. Now you can enjoy the same at the Olive Garden.
Did Romans really eat that much salad?
Gee, here comes the waiter. More salads? The Olive Garden. When you're here, you're going to have to eat an assload of salads.
Last year, for her 65th birthday, I got my Aunt Clara a top-of-the-line Rascal scooter. She hadn't been getting around too well since her last hip operation, and I thought it would be a nice way to get her active again. Boy, was I wrong. As soon as she got on that thing, a strange blank look came over her face. Her eyes took on a dead quality, and right then she floored her scooter, smashing through the door of her apartment, careening out into the street at top speed. I should have gotten her Netflix instead. If I had, Aunt Clara would still be safe at home, sitting on her couch enjoying over 90,000 titles delivered free to her home with no late fees. Don't make the same mistake I did. Get Netflix instead. And for amazing deals and to help out our show, sign up at the secret site www.netflix.com/superstar. And welcome back to my show. Hey, it's the emergency shed telephone.
Oh man, that could only be one person.
No, 2 people. Only 2 people have that number. My mom and self-defense expert Ricky Kang, and my mom's at the off-track betting, so that could only mean one thing.
It's your mom from the off-track betting.
Hello?
Martin! Yo, buddy, what's up, man? Ricky Kang here.
Hey, Ricky, what's happening?
Well, man, I was down here practicing on my compound down here, man, in my dojo, and I got this twinge, like a Ricky sense, and I knew right then you was talking about my old nemesis, Chuckles Norris.
Your old nemesis? You're telling me that you've met Chuck Norris?
Met him? Shit, if I had a dime for every time I smacked him in his smart, pretty mouth, I'd be able to buy 12 new state-of-the-art dojos. I beat his ass in a cage fight back in '78, beat him so bad he had to grow that beard. That's all that's behind Chuck Norris's beard. Ricky Kang's fist imprints.
You fought Chuck Norris.
I wouldn't call it fighting. It's more like I see Chuck Norris and he shits his Wranglers. And then, if I'm feeling nice, I don't wrap half a total gym around that bitch's neck.
What?
Yeah.
Ricky, why do you hate Chuck Norris so much?
Because everybody knows Ricky Kang was supposed to play Walker, Texas Ranger. But I didn't want to do it in Texas because I objected to that because that whole state's full of nothing but butt, egg, and dick bags. I wanted to be Ricky Kang, Florida Ranger. But see, they didn't like that, so Chuck wormed his way in, and that was that.
Okay. Thanks, Ricky. Thanks for that.
Hey, Mark, when you coming down here to the compound to party with me, buddy? We got plenty of cold beer down here, buddy. Whoo, Ricky Kang!
Soon, Ricky. Quasi-Toto.
Quasi-Toto, buddy. Hey, Quasi-Toto. Quasi-Toto.
Wow, that was something. Such ferocity. I'd like to see him go toe-to-toe in the octagon with that witchy goth chick, Lilith.
She might give him a run for his money.
Seriously. Man. Oh, speaking of chicks, we've been trying to get more female flesh on the show to improve our ratings with mixed success. And the way that we do that is by having Gator here head down to the public library every week and use their computers to find a digital doxy that strikes his fancy in a segment that we call Gator's Gals. Mm-hmm. Gator, who's the lucky gal this week?
Well, she's a girl without a name. She's this Japanese gal that's running on a treadmill that I found the finest piece of video I've ever seen.
I don't need a name.
I wrote her a poem nonetheless, though.
Oh, would you like to read that for us?
It's called Poem for the Japanese Girl Running on a Treadmill. We run blindly through the blackest of black night, stumbling on bended knees. We feel our way from the fissures and cracks in the ancient bones of creek beds long forsaken of water. Before dawn, the sad cry of far-ranging birds turns our heads towards the sky, and there, ensconced in the purple fat gloaming of morning, we see the twinkling shimmer of a city, the castellated press of towers rising like bejeweled specters towards the pregnant dawn. We will walk into that town, and once we're there, we'll take a room, somewhere classy, like Hojo's. And once inside, I'll remove your bikini top and bury my face in your massive tits. And then maybe I'll cover you in some sort of whipping cream and fuck you till we both speak in magical tongues.
That was beautiful. And it sort of had like sort of an Eastern flair to it. Sort of,
yeah, because we were running and she's running on the treadmill, so I tied that all in because I'm trying to get artistic with it.
You tried it. I think
like
that you're succeeding at that.
Well, that's wonderful.
That was really neat.
I like that one. She's inspiring. She inspired me. I think she will too if you take a look at it.
I think she inspired everyone who was watching that. Hey everyone, that's all the time we have for this edition of Internet Superstar. I'd like to thank my friends Coach Cole, Lilith, Ian Spector, and Ricky Kang for stopping by, and especially you for watching. Next week, we'll bring you our show from the big RaffleCon conference of Internet Memes at MIT, when we'll be talking with Leslie Hall, Average Homeboy Denny Blaze, Jay Maynard the Tron Guy, and many, many more Internet Superstars. In the meantime, don't forget to watch Little Internet Superstar every day on Revision 3. Good night, everyone. We'll see you at the bar.
I think that's MIT, not MIT. What is that anyway? Is
that Massachusetts Institute of Technology?
Oh, I thought that was some kind of filling station they have up there in the Boston. I've never been to Boston. I'm looking forward to that.
You're going to go with me.
We're going to have a good time,
We're
right?
going to enjoy that.
Boston.